Good afternoon, everybody. MG here. MGCovers bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video is What is the three-team card concept and how to profit from it in sports betting. Really neat video. Super educational as always. Before we dive into the video, if this is your first time watching, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Big shout out to my subscribers. A lot of growth here in the last couple months, and I'm so appreciative of that. So if you like this video, want to subscribe to the channel. There's a ton of content on sports betting. If you want to learn the sports betting business, a lot of free content. Speaking of free content, if you follow me on Instagram, MGCovers, cover spelled with a Z. If you forget that, there's a link in the description box. I give out a ton of free content on Instagram on my storyline, things I don't normally make a video, but a lot of times I'll see line movement, sometimes like a free play or specifically a lean in a certain direction. So you get a lot of value. Simply follow me on Instagram, Twitter, same handle on there as well. All right, so let's dive into this video. I'm super excited about this, and there's a lot of things in this business that I share. A lot of times people say, well, he's saying that this works, but I don't actually see him doing it. Everything that I put on my channel or I explain is something that I actually do. And I think that's important in sports betting because everything that I've learned from doing this since 2014, I will share with you guys. It's actually something legit that actually works. And that's going to be this concept today that we call the three-team card concept. So let's explain what it is first, and then I'll help you understand it. And we're going to actually look at some specific examples from some of my wagers, some of my three-team card concept wagers. The three-team card concept is that in a single day, you're going to wager on three teams. Okay? And so by doing that, that's the three-team card concept. So if you look right here, there's four possible outcomes on the three-team card concept, meaning you wager three games, three spreads. It could be three money lines or whatever. So there's four possible outcomes. You could go 3-0. You could go 1-2. You could go 2-1. You could go 0-3. Now, the most likely, most probable outcomes if you wager a three-team card is going to be 1-2 or 2-1, not 3-0 and not 0-3. Now, let's first talk about why that is, and I'll give you just a basic stats and probability lesson. Anything I teach, I like making it simple. When I was in school, whether it was geometry, trigonometry, calculus, algebra, whatever it was, my mind sort of processed things and made it simple. A lot of times the teacher, when she would explain it, I felt she explained it in a very complex way. So my brain, I'm not the smartest dude in the world, but I simplify things, and I think that makes it easier for me to understand and also easier to teach. So let's talk about why the most likely outcomes are 1-2 and 2-1, and why this is going to help you in sports betting. If somebody goes, I'll give you an example and we'll apply it to this. If somebody is on a 14-4 run, or let's say you may have gone on a run yourself. You've gone on this 14-4 run. That's 77%. Are you more likely to go on another 14-4 run, or you're more likely to, quote, regress back to closer to 50%? You are more likely to regress back to that 50%. In fact, it's almost statistically impossible for you to go on another 14-4 run. That's just how stats and probability work. Why is that? Let me explain. In sports betting, if you're wagering a spread, a game where there's just two teams, two outcomes, it's a 50% for team A to win, 50% chance for team B to win. So coin flip, you could flip a coin and it's either going to be team A or team B win. So if somebody goes on a 14-4 run, they're more likely to regress back towards 50%, just the way that it works. The same would apply to if you go on a 4-14 run, which is 22%, or you're more likely to go on another 4-14 run, or you're more likely to regress closer back to up towards 50%. You're more likely to go back to regress towards 50%. Again, same concept. It would be almost statistically impossible for you to go on another 4-14 run. Now, let's talk about, and then basically what I just taught you, let's apply that to the 3-team cards. So knowing that, that's why the 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 outcomes are the most likely outcomes if you stick to just 3 teams, wagering on 3 teams each day. So the one thing that will hurt you in this business is not a 1 and 2 day. Having a losing day doesn't hurt you. What hurts you in this business is an over day. And if you apply the concept that I teach, where let's say your unit size is, $100. So you wager 3 games, you lose all 3, you lose 1 full unit for the day. Okay. Now that's what hurts you. Having a 1 and 2 day does not hurt you in this business, and it's basically what I call normal unit variance. So let's take a look at this example. I'm just going to show you. Let's say we go 1 and 2 on, say, a Monday. The next day we go 1 and 2 again. The next day we go 1 and 2 again. So the 4th day we have a 3 and 0 day. So not even factoring in juice, not factoring in money line dogs, we're basically even at that point, right? Down a unit, down a unit, down a unit, and then we make up for all of those losses on that 4th day. So we had 3 losing days, and then we had a 3 and 0 day on day 4, and we're back to even. So, or even going 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 really doesn't hurt you, because think about what would happen if we went 0 and 3, 0 and 3, 0 and 3, down a significant amount, right? However, based on what I just taught you, that's very difficult to do, even in one single day. So therefore, I am a huge advocate of playing 3 teams on 1 card. And the other ancillary benefit to this is, let's say that you look at college basketball, and there's, let me first say this. If there's 30 college basketball games in a day, the more games you play, the bigger advantage you give the sports book. The less games you play, the bigger advantage you give yourself. And here's why. Let's say there's 30 college basketball games. You're going to play 15 of those games. Impossible. I mean, the sports book has a huge advantage. Why? They're not going to lay 15 bad lines out of 30, or there's not going to be 15 games worth wagering on out of 30. Whereas, let's say there's 30 college basketball games, 15 of them you kind of like, but you only end up playing 3. You are at the advantage because it's more likely for the sports books or there to be a bad line on 3 games than there are to be a bad line on, say, 15. So again, the 3-card team is a really, really, really solid way to wager, because again, the 2 most unlikely outcomes, 3 and 0 and 0 and 3. Well, let's take that back. Very difficult to go 3 and 0. And at the same time, it's very difficult to go 0 and 3. So you're more likely to end up 1 and 2, 2 and 1. And the biggest ancillary benefit to doing this is, let's say out of that 15 games that you like, let's say you've narrowed it down to 6. I really like these 6. Well, now you have to narrow it down to 3. And this is a great exercise, because if you're taking 6 games that you like that have value, some situational angles, now you're forced to, what I call forcing yourself to handicap. So you're having to take those 6 games and narrow those 6 games down to 3. So you're having to look at 2 games side by side and say, which game is better? Okay, I like this particular game simply because they have a better home record. Or I like this game because this team is at home, this other game, this team's away, or whatever you determine. But the point is, if you can narrow it down to from 6 to 3, it's going to force you to handicap, be very discreet with your handicapping, trying to pick 3 good plays. So now you went from 30 games total down to 15, down to 6. Now you're down to 3. So you're going to wager for that day 3 really strong wagers, and you've also decreased the possibility of that card going 0 and 3. I want to make one other point. I love this quote from Warren Buffett. He said, in order to, he was referring to stock market, in order to make money, you first have to learn how not to lose money. That's basically what you're doing with the 3-team card concept. There was I got a DM, I think it was last week. He may have joined, I can't remember if he did or didn't. But anyway, he said he was just starting out handicap. We've been handicapping for a while, and he said he got to a point where he was basically breaking even and not losing. And I said, "Hey man, congrats, that's awesome." And he replied back laughing, ha ha ha, or LOL. And it was a genuine compliment for me, because in this business, if you can maintain, basically even, have a winning day, maintain even. Again, the only thing that hurts you in this business are the over days, over 3, over 5, over 6. It is possible. But again, concentrating just on the 3-team card, I think it will give you a huge benefit. Now, let's take a look at some actual examples of this. And we're going to look, these are recent examples. This was from February the 8th. So again, anything that I show on this channel, I'm actually doing it myself. So this was from February the 8th. We had 3 plays total. We lose the Missouri game. We lose the Illinois game. But we won Missouri, Kansas City over St. Thomas. That was a win. So again, the 1 and 2, if you were wagering full units, you would only be down 1 unit and juice. Same deal here. But again, the over day, we avoided the over day, which in essence, I know it seems almost counterproductive because you're trying to profit. But again, going back to that statement, in order to make money, you're going to first figure out how not to lose it. So let's take a look at this one. Now, this is a very interesting one, because now we're going to play 3 teams on this day, but we're going to incorporate the concept of moneyline dogs, which I'm a huge advocate of. If you watch any of my videos for any length, this says 211. This game went off at midnight, but it still counted on February 10th. That's why it's showing 211. Okay, so we lose this Mount St. Mary's game. We lose Florida Atlantic, but we cash Long Beach State as a plus 170 dog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this up. The way that I teach, 1 full unit for me is $1,000. So in this particular day, we wagered 1/5 unit each, which will be $200 a pop. And 2, just like playing money line dogs, you get huge benefit because you win basically double the money. In essence, almost, specifically in this, not quite with the plus 170, but on a loss, you pay no juice. So in this particular example, we lose a Mount St. Mary's, that was 220. We lose this one 400, so we're down 420 here, but we cash the 340. So we subtract 340 from that, and our actually net loss for that day is $80. So that's less than 1/10 unit. So that's basically an even day. So again, those particular days do not hurt you at all. Now, let's look at the next example. Now, this could also happen where you're playing moneyline dogs like I teach, and then you end up going 2 and 1. So let's add this one up. And this was a really good day here from February the 3rd. And again, we played New Orleans, cashed that one at 310. That was a huge dog there. And cash Bryan at 200. And then we lose this Seattle game. And again, 235. We're playing a moneyline dog. So we pay no juice. We win a spread game, and we win a plus 155 dog. So if we add this up, that would be 310 plus 200. That gives us a total of, did I add that right? 510. Was that right, y'all? 510, yeah, minus the 200. And we end up with 310 that day. So basically 1/3 unit gained on that particular day. So anyway, just to sort of recap, that's a really good, a really solid way to handicap. This is actually from yesterday. The 5-game card, I had 5 games and went 2 and 3. The 5-game card is very similar to the 3-team card, except with the 5, you need to win 2, which is exactly what we did, only down 230 there. And then this is basically all I've done. Just to give an example, it feels like when you're doing it this way, if you have those 1 and 2 days, or 2 and 1 days, it feels like you're never getting ahead. But again, incorporating moneyline dogs, you can look for the last, this is exactly the last 7 days, we're 12 and 11, so basically 50%, but up right at 0.7 units for the week. So again, really good concept. The 3-team card, encourage you to do that. Power rankings, if you want access to my NCAA basketball power rankings, which we have going right now, we've gone 17 days just the power rankings and only 2 losing days just the power rankings. So it's a very, very solid model. If you want access to that, it's $49 a month. You get access to all of my coaching videos as well. If you want to get access to all my plays, that's $99 per month, and that gives you access to power rankings, all my coaching video, as well as all my plays for all sports. If you want to join for the year, that's the best value. That's $4.99. You save about $600 on the year, and you get everything on the site for $500 a year. Link to join is in the description box. Hope this video helped, and if you liked it, give it a like, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.